Good Sunday morning, everyone. Meteorologist Jason Doris here with NBC 10 Province. And as everyone's a little bit curious at this hour is about that snow that we're finally starting to see in parts of Rhode Island. We've been waiting for it to actually reach the surface for a little bit now, as we've had a lot of dry air from this Arctic air mass kind of evaporating those snowflakes before they've actually reached the ground. But we can see some of those darker blues now starting to make its way into parts of Westerly, Charlestown, Hope Valley, Richmond. That is enough to overcome that dry air, and that is why those flakes are now starting to come down. And as they continue to do so, we're anticipating them to be able to stick right off the bat. Again, our temperatures are still in the single digits for many of us. So that means over the next hour or so, road salt is basically useless, as it's really ineffective at under 10 degrees or so. But I want to start with the timeline of kind of what we're expecting as we go forward through today, tonight, and tomorrow. Today, again, that snow will be developing across the area, widespread by about 11 a.m. to noon, the very latest. And again, that will be sticking right away. By about 1, 2 o'clock, we're starting to see those snowfall rates ramp up, and we could be seeing them approach about 2 inches plus per hour for several hours, all the way into the evening time frame, leading to difficult travel and potentially near zero visibility too. Not even factoring in the wind too that we're going to have out of the east between probably 10 to 25 miles an hour, which is just going to add to those difficult travel conditions, as this type of situation, those plow guys are just really not going to be able to keep up with how quick the snow is falling. Now, that heavy snow will start to change over to some sleet at the coastline around maybe 7 to 9 p.m. Those 2 hours could play a big role with regards to how much snow they see. So that's going to be a little bit of a timing thing, and that is why we have a little bit wider of a range for the South Coast today with regards to their snow totals. But the worst of the storm is over by midnight. Still going to have some light snow lingering further north, as a little bit of a small scale, mesoscale snow band kind of sets up potentially along the 95 corridor somewhere. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And the snow will again redevelop widespread during the mid-morning time frame on Monday as the system kind of pulls away. So it'll be a long duration event. Now, travel impacts should be good to go over the next hour or so. Then things will start to deteriorate, as we're going to have snow-covered roads clearly by about 12 p.m. or so. And then in and around the Patriots game, I know it's so tempting to want to go watch the game with your friends or your buddies, but probably not the best idea today, because it is going to be near impossible to be getting around, especially after the game, as we're going to have, again, visibility probably less than a half mile, closer to a quarter mile. And those heavy snowfall rates coming down, snow-covered roads, close to a foot of snow on the ground, widespread across Rhode Island and southeast Massachusetts by the time the game is ending around 6, 7 o'clock. So be prepared for that. Road conditions still in poor condition, probably even as we're starting to see that mix develop across the area. I want to show you kind of the snowfall rates at 5 p.m. Here we are. We can see near whiteout conditions in and around the entire region. Just kind of an indication. Like I mentioned, these models of some of the whiteout conditions are not even factoring in the wind that is going to be coming down. That's just the snowfall rates. Now, our snowfall forecasts, we readjusted it today just to better reflect a little bit of that potential for snow on Monday as well. So still anticipating the lower amounts at the South Coast, where that sleet will be mixing in a little bit earlier, 8 to 14 inches. Again, you could potentially have a little bit closer to the 14 inches on the ground by the time you're starting to flip over to the sleet. But then the snowpack is going to start to compact a little bit just due to the weight of the sleet. So it'll probably be a heavy snow when you're shoveling and removing that after the storm system's over. A little bit further north, 14 to 20. This is where we have higher confidence of that snow lasting longer. Still potentially sleet up through Providence, but potentially north of Providence, those communities could be staying sleet free, which means we could be on the higher potential of some of these snow totals. And then the jackpot zone looks like it's going to be in and around 495, higher elevations of the Worcester Hills, potentially as far low as right along the Rhode Island and Massachusetts border. And that will have to do with the additional snowfall we're anticipating on Monday as this storm system pulls away. Again, long duration event. Make sure you're just kind of taking it easy today, hunkering down, just because there's no reason to really risk anything with intense snowfall rates that will be coming down later on today. So coming up in another 10 minutes, I'll be back on NBC 10. We're doing a little bit of a weather and also Patriots special for the last hour of our Sunday Sunrise show. So catch us then, and I'll give you a full hour-by-hour breakdown kind of what we can expect from this storm system.